Hey there, everyone! Welcome back to some more Let's Play the Occult Chronicles! In the last episode, we were driven insane. We had constant failures of horror challenges. We weren't able to communicate with ghosts very well. We struggled to fight off the handful of ghosts that we encountered. I think there was just 2 random encounters, maybe 3? And that was it. Our character didn't even make it to explore half of the mansion, the first floor that is, before being driven insane, trying to complete it even an easy, arguably, conversation with a ghostly pianist. Patrick. But surely that was an imposter, because we're going to make the same character and try it again. You guys have let me know in the comments that another attempt wouldn't be something you would dislike seeing, so we're going to go ahead and make one more run of it. Before we get going, 2 things, or perhaps even 3. Number 1, this is the last attempt this year. If we lose right away, that will be it. We'll move on to something else. The game is being rather harsh on us. Number 2, if we get a wound or an impairment card, we are giving up, and we will walk our hero to the beginning of the mansion if it occurs within the first 4 or 5 story tokens. Depends upon how well we're doing. We cannot get through the game if we have a huge stat penalty to something and less capacity and additional negative modifiers. So it'll be something that you might see us do depending on how lucky or unlucky we get. And number 3, viewer, this is my 4th attempt at recording this second video, which is to say I've recorded 4 round 2s, as it were, and they've all been bad. So hopefully this is coming out well. Let's go ahead and start. I'm gonna vent a little bit when we get into the game. I'll get going. All right, so I think what we'll do is we really should do the same thing. So let's go ahead and try to square off against the Elder a second time. I do like the Halloween picture. Like it's very Halloweenish, this picture, and I do like fighting the Elder. So we're gonna go ahead and give us a try. So we're going to go ahead and select the story speed of slow, difficulty ancient, and slow reaper mode. And I guess we'll go ahead and read this introduction another time. Despite the loss of 2 entire tactical operation teams, Operation Driven Stake has... You know what? Let's make it a little different. We'll pick a random mission. I don't think we've ever done a random mission, viewer. All it's going to do is choose one of the missions that we normally could have chosen, well, obviously, at random. And so, we'll have to figure out what we're fighting. We'll know what we're fighting either via the first clue token, or via encountering whatever particular story random encounters are present in the mansion. Yeah, let's do this. So, random mission. The section chief wants you to go check out this lead at this place where somebody might have seen something, or maybe somebody went missing, or Z-Branch just thinks it needs some more coffee or something. So they send you, of course. Oh, ain't that the way of it? Let me lower my microphone volume a little bit. Okay, all right. So same setup, and we're gonna make the same character as well. Patrick. Is it Calloway or I think it's Galloway. Calloway. And we'll go ahead and give him a background of soldier again. One more time, we start with a bone of swords that's used for ranged and melee weapons. 2 random combat edges. If they're not useful, guys, we're just going to make another character from the get-go, so don't get too attached to this guy quite yet. 1 random combat heroic feat, 1 random service, 1 random, ranged weapon, a service pistol or a shotgun, and 1 random air talisman, and +1 swords to help us out. Our starting bone will be pentacles, because I'm not intending to go down the spell route with them, though maybe we will, depending upon what happens to us in the game. And we get starting edge. So last time it was the horror challenges that really did us in, so we're going to try to make it a little easier for us by selecting adaptive intellect. X additional cards are drawn at the start of any horror challenge, where X is the level of the edge. For our stats, we want a well-balanced character, so that's 2 of everything and 1 more point in pentacles to make up for the fact that I'm not intending on taking any pentacles skill cards. Health and sanity, 11 health, 12 sanity. Hopefully adaptive intellect makes the horror chance a little easier and we don't burn through our sanity so quickly. Alright, let's get started. Before I vent, to you guys, we're gonna take a look at our character and make sure we're keeping him. How you guys doing? Thank you for putting up with me, by the way, everyone. I do really appreciate the patience you have. Okay, so we're starting with the Crow this time around, which always appears whenever we fail a challenge that involved air as the primary suit. But when we select it, there's a 10% chance it goes away permanently, and we lose it. We start with the Colt 45 this time instead of a shotgun. The Colt 45 has another combat option, which is to say you can fight physically with your fists or what have you, maybe psychically, you can flee, and this is also an option for us. Makes the combat a little easier depending upon what we're fighting. Double tap will select a random revealed non-face trick card and bump its value down -3. Not very reliable of a thing to use. Basically, when you want to use this is when you select a trick, it gets revealed, it's a number card, you have a number card you could use in your hand that's lower than it, and it's enough to lower that number, and it has to be the only trick card, the only non-number trick, the only non-face trick card revealed, or there's a chance you hit something else instead. So, not terribly useful. It's got 9 bullets out of 15, and this takes... Oh, Sonic Power doesn't require any bullets? No, it must require 2 or 3 bullets to use it. That's an expensive use of this. We have Reckless Charge, which is useless. We cannot use this unless we have a 3rd Cups. And even then, it's really risky to use any feats until you have an extra, like at least 5 in a stat that it is associated with. If we get a chance to use it, we will do so, but I'm not intending to level Cups anytime soon. So it's probably gonna, this is useless to us. It doesn't help us at all at this moment. For the edges, we have Sharpshooter. Whenever a ranged weapon special ability is used, X is, nope, this is useless. It bumps up values in our hands. And this is another thing added to the bump down non-face trick cards. Okay, I'm going to reroll a character because our starting feat is bad and the Sharpshooter is useless. So we're just going to go back to the main menu. Useless. And try us again. Okay, once again, Patrick Galloway. Background is once again the soldier. Starting bone is pentacles. Starting edge is adaptive intellect. And do it. I don't mind, I suppose. I mean, I do really mind. I don't understand why I can't select my starting edges. Why does the game or why does the game give me edges that aren't useful for the starting weapon, the weapon that you give me? Why are there so many decisions in this game that I disagree with? I still like the game, viewer. I really do. All right. Once again, we get the Crow. We get a shotgun this time. Trick Shot is now our feat. So this is usable. It only requires us... Oh, no, it's not. Nope, never mind. This is useless. This requires a pistol. We don't have a pistol. Okay. What are our edges? Concentrated Fire. Gain X additional uses of any rifle weapons. And Bloody Mess. X additional cards are drawn at the start of any combat challenge where X is level of the edge. So we have a useless heroic feat. We cannot use this unless we find a pistol. And we have 2 edges that also, the edges are useful. I'm willing to suffer. I mean, I wish I could, can I just discard this? Okay. We can, I forgot this is even an option. We can just get rid of this if we so desire. I forgot. And we can gain an experience token for doing so. We will keep it at the moment. But if we find the gun room, I am just gonna, I'm sorry, unless we find the gun room somewhere on the first floor, and then, of course, we get lucky and get a pistol, I think it would just behoove us just to drop Trick Shot. Okay, now I'm going to vent. Viewer! Oh, my goodness. So I was on a work Microsoft Teams meeting, and I forgot I was on that Teams meeting. And what this means is that my microphone volume was adjusted, and I didn't realize it, and I recorded like 2 episodes of this game. It turned out that was a good thing that it didn't pan out, though, because in the second episode, between the first and second story token being drawn, I got a wound, and it was -1 cups, take double damage from any bad cards you flip, and it took 2 inventory slots out of my cups inventory. And I'm like, nope, no, this is awful. This is awful. This run was also a failure. No more Occult Chronicles. But because my voice was so low that you can barely hear me over the music in the game, I've decided that no, we will go ahead and make another attempt. So the good news is that you guys don't get to see us lose again, at least not right away. Or maybe you will. We'll find out when we get through the mansion another time. The bad news is that that was about 2 hours of life that I'm not going to get back now. So that sucks. It was a decent character too. Had a pistol, had the service pistol. Had some good feats and had trick shot. It was going to work. It really was, but that wound just took everything away. Such a shame. All right, so that's the end of the venting. Not too much. Let's get started. Last time we went through the right door. This time we'll go through the left. But first we should check to make sure there's no secret passage up here. There isn't at least any there. We're looking for clue tokens also at the moment. We don't know actually what we're up against at this point in the game either. Once again, the first clue token will obviously give us a clue. and or the first random encounter against creatures specific to what mission or quest we've chosen will be another clue. There might be some static events related to the thing as well. If it's the Elder, on the second floor there are 2 vampire wives, and the first level of the basement I think has another. For example, I don't actually know what all the static encounters are or where they're located. I need to have a greeting room right off the main hall. That would make sense, I suppose. Your attention is drawn to a magnificent grandfather clock that dominates its section of the room. Constructed out of rich mahogany, its exterior is decorated with ornate friezes and carvings. Its large brass pendulum hangs motionless but frozen oddly at slight angle. That's what it says. You've had your fair share of encounters with possessed or cursed furniture, and you don't sense anything supernatural here. There is something strange, however. An aura or energy of some sort is being hidden here. It is hard, though, not to be awestruck by the quality of craftsmanship that went into building the clock. Perhaps it's meant as a distraction. There are 2 or 3 quests that want you to interact with the clock. As much as I do like complaining about some of the many parts of this game, I do so love the puns. You decide to pursue this another time. I gotta hand it to Vic. He's pretty good with the puns. Oh, and that's it for this side of the mansion, huh? Maybe there's a secret door in this room. It seems impossible, but a human skeleton steps in front of you from out of the gloom. It hisses at you, and you smell the breath of death. Some dark necromancy must animate this long-dead creature. You can't even understand how the bones can be held together. It's terrifying. Oh, not for this. I'm looking pretty good here. Well, no, not pretty good, I suppose. 2 pages. And a 4 target number. Means we win. You were part of the team that took down the Black Circle of Necromancers a few years back. You have encountered your fair share of reanimations over the years. You wonder if a curse or a necromancer of some skill has summoned a spirit to animate this bag of bones. Was it sent after you? You remember from your briefings its decayed appearance can be deceptive, and prepare yourself. You will need to either fight or flee. You got a bone to pick with the skeleton. If you hack it to pieces, you suspect it won't be getting back up. it's arguably better than running from it. It's one higher target and one less trick, but we get 2 more draw. Oh, well, that's not a good hand. So, I doubt we're beating this encounter. Oh, we do! Holy crap, that was super lucky. Exactly what we needed. We had... the 10 was our highest, and then we had like 2 4s and 2 5s, but we were able to play both 5s and 1 4. You won the battle. You knock the head off and separate the spine from the rib cage. An arm is lying over by itself. The spell is broken, and the thing goes still. Holy crap, an experience token. Once again, viewer, we really want to improve our wands. In particular, because the 3 wands will allow us to take quests. Arguably, perhaps we should have taken wands as another stat increase when we made our character, but I'm not intending to take anything that increases our pentacles. So, we don't really want a 2 pentacles. You don't want a 2 of anything by the time you're in the basement. You want at least like a 4 and everything. A 3 is going to be tough for horror challenges when we're down there, but it's a lot more bearable than a 2. So, I'm intending to take something that will allow us to improve our cups and wands as we go forward. Oh, this is bad. Okay, there is no secret door here. And the grandfather clock is all alone in that room. That's quite some distance. They're going to end up having to come back here to interact with that. The bad news about there not being a secret door here is this is the side of the mansion. At least, what we're able to access from the beginning. Hopefully we don't have to worry about the green slime or the carpet of bugs blocking our path as we proceed through the first floor. We should check for a secret passage up here too. There is not one here today. You cannot fail to find them, to my knowledge. You see a locked wooden door. There's a worn keyhole right where it belongs, but no sign of a key anywhere. I hate having the lockpick doors in the beginning of the game. I don't like this at all. You examine the lock mechanism and decide that you just might not have to finesse it open. We don't have a choice. We're not going to survive the 2nd floor. We could try. If we fail to lockpick this, I guess we will go up the 2nd floor, viewer, but we're going to die trying to get up there and find the staircase that leads us down. Okay, this is good. A King of Pentacles and a Page of Cups. And an 8 of Cups. We just need a Pentacles card up here. It seems you've overestimated your ability to master this mechanism. You scratch your head in dismay. Well, we'll do it again. A bad hand. We're not doing it this time, I think. Do we just give up? Do we just give up? Okay, we managed it, okay. We had the queen for that 3. Alright, hopefully we can recover some of that sanity. Hopefully we get an Aura of Fortune for this. If we got no Omen viewer, oh man, I was just gonna start another character just immediately. Alright, we managed it this time. The lock opens. You are just as talented with the lock as you thought. That can be taken in one of 2 ways. The mechanism clicks and you turn the knob to open the door. Okay, Aura of Fortune to start. Good. This, I believe, it gives you a better chance of getting better rewards for flipping cards over. I think that's the way it works. So maybe instead of 2 sanity, you get 3 sanity. Or maybe you get, like, some courage or an experience token, depending upon what you're doing. Ill omens are the reverse. They lower your chance of getting something good. And an edge upgrade right away. What the heck? Alright, game. Thank you. That's being very kind. What do we want? I mean, I think we just take Bloody Mess up a rank. We would draw another card for every combat option. Adaptive Intellect will also let us draw another card for all horror challenges. I think both of these are more useful to concentrate fire at the moment. Arguably, I should take Adaptive Intellect. Because horror challenges are going to be tough for us. So yeah, we'll take Adaptive Intellect up a rank. We are saving the game. You better believe it. Oh. Oh, okay. So because of the failures... Okay, we have several... That's annoying. You can... Can we have multiple Reaper games? Is that the way that works? You can. Okay. I'll have to delete all the Reaper saves then from my other attempts, but then realizing my recording wasn't working. All right, where are we going? Oh, ground floor. Suddenly you see the dim glow of a formless ghost just ahead of you. It seems to just hang in the air. It may be the most basic of spectral creatures, an unformed psychokinetic disturbance, but it's a spirit all the same. It would frighten any flesh and blood human. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards. Okay, so the card, the draw it shows me is actually the card draw I get. Okay. Well, we have 2 knights of 2. So let's not a good start. I have the queen of a suit that we had the knight for. We don't win, but we do take reduced damage. You stand paralyzed with fear. You hope you don't get slimed. Haunting manifests itself as a dim ball of light. It has no sense of its previous life or existence. It wanders hopelessly lost. You should exercise caution. These haunts cannot be reasoned with, and they can be lethal if disturbed. Well, viewer, we're just, let's see. We have a better chance of actually getting it than fleeing it. Once again, I'm going to forbid myself from using any ranged weaponry against a creature that I know I modded and added in a physical option to deal with. So I added Getter. Getter's what we're doing. That's it. That's the whole plan. Getter. Some high numbers and a Knight of Swords. Our lowest is a 5. A 10 of Swords. We'll take with the Knight. We still haven't won quite yet. And we don't. You didn't stand the ghost of a chance. Getter? What were you thinking? I was thinking that we would actually win that encounter. Let's do it again. A king, a knight, and 2 10s. We also have 2 2s. Let's see what we get. Nice. Always glad when a face card of mine gets to get a face card over there. Our king takes that knight, and we win the challenge. Quite bigly. You got her good. No one's going to believe how you did it, and you're not sure you are either. That's very nice. So we take those into adding a skill card, and we could just drop the trick shot to get a skill card. I think what we're going to do is we're going to wait until if we get enough experience points, like if I could drop that skill card and take like a point of wands, I will actually do that. We're going to save the game again. I can't believe we just like that. We in the first, like, what is it, like 12 minutes? We've done better than, well, you guys haven't seen it, but I've done better than I have in the past entire, like, 4 hours of this game. I can't believe it. Something in the drawing room. You see a spent candle placed next to 7 chalk circles. You have the impression that somebody's been playing a game here. You notice the cards sitting in 3 of the circles. A sudden chill shoots down your spine as you recognize one of the cards. Death. Something supernatural is going on here, and you can feel it in your bones. A ritual was in the process of being performed and was suddenly interrupted. You can sense the spirit energy swirling about this place. Oh, look at that. Get to take the knight with our queen. That always feels good. You show off the effects of the supernatural energy that has been drawn to this location via the ritual that the deck has begun to invoke. Alongside death sit despair and darkness. The unseeing eye seems to preside over all three. This is a very unusual deck. You can't place it exactly from memory. You think it might have originated in the Balkans, but you're not sure. You study the setup carefully and decide what to do next. Without wands, this is not a good chance. We'll try once. You decide to try and examine the card game setup more closely to see if you can identify it and what it was trying to do. A king of wands is nice. Our next highest card is a 5, so hopefully we can play that king. And we do. Yes, you recognize the deck in the setup. It's clearly the work of the Red Hand. You thought that the cult had been destroyed utterly. Why would a Red Hand divination deck be set up here? There must be a spirit key nearby. Did you try to find it? We could play without the key, but we're not going to win that. A reading room. Counters are to the left and right of us. We're also looking for clue tokens still. You see a large marble fireplace decorated with ornate sculptures, but what really astonishes you is the fire burning within the hearth. The flames dance around and lick the walls of the fireplace, almost as if there were some type of living entity. Then it strikes you. A demonic face appears in the flames, and the sudden realization that this creature has noticed you sends a wave of horror rolling over you. You struggle to keep calm and not give in to panic. You're looking straight in the face of some type of flaming evil horror. It seeks to dominate your mind, and you know you must not let that happen. A knight in the page, and then a 6. Ooh, good thing we play the knight, but we still fail. Imaginary flames leap up all around you, driving you one step closer to insanity. The panic is overwhelming. The face of the fire smiles at you. The demonic creature must have been bound to the fireplace. How long ago and by whom are questions that you cannot answer. You cautiously step forward so that you can examine the situation in more detail. The demon seems contained within the hearth, but you have no idea how strong his binding there is. We cannot bargain with the demon because we do not have 3 wands. It is part of a quest. We'll come back for it later. Your attention is drawn to a large stone statue of a truly horrific and bizarre-looking gargoyle. It sits on a pedestal with its arms wrapped around its legs. You feel a sudden shock shoot down your spine as you notice its eyelids blink open. The statue is alive. You fight to control a growing tide of fear that's sweeping over you. Queen, page, and a 9 are our cards. In order of value. And we won none of this. You wonder what fell sorcery could animate this statue. You start to shiver and shake as your courage and sanity start to slip away. Wow, I'm surprised we didn't take sanity loss there. The gargoyle stretches itself out and unfurls its large wings. You notice its razor-sharp claws. Before you realize it, it moves forward to attack you. It is part of a quest, so we're going to just try to flee from it rather than fight it. Well, we have the best chance to do so. The gargoyle is probably guarding something. You hope that the sorcery that animates it also confines it to a specific location. We turn and run. Oh, we might not be able to get away. We do. You must have been correct in your assessment. The gargoyle does not pursue you. Never flip over any card upon succeeding at a flee or evade challenge. There's never anything good. It's always like negative courage, if I recall correctly, or the chance of you getting something like +1 sanity is so low that it's just not worth the effort. There could be a clue token there, but we'll probably come back for the gargoyle statue, so we will not bother stepping up that way at the moment. We have to explore these rooms. Okay. This room is the one that usually has the bride in it, the ghostly bride, and there's usually a chandelier trap in this room. There's 2 encounters here today. You see the figure of a woman silhouetted against a wall. You call out, "Who's there?" but get no response. You almost wonder if it might be a mannequin of some sort. A sudden chill envelops you as you step closer. The shape shifts and turns to face you, revealing the outlines of smoky wings that unfold and then flit in and out of the darkness. Your eyes wide in disbelief as you confront what is obviously a winged woman of some sort. You think it must be a succubus. Your mind strains to comprehend the demonic creature that stands before you. This is Falls from Grace, from the Planescape Torment series, if you guys are familiar with that. At least, that's who it turns out to be when you do the quest here for her. But she is a difficult one to get the quest for, if you're even allowed to get the quest for her. I think you need 4 wands and or 4 pentacles to actually communicate with her. Or she might be the part of a quest that the witches give you in the backyard. Wow. Your mind is weak. The confrontation with the winged creature chips away at your sanity. Yes, you decide this was most surely a succubus. Remember your odd training in dealing with minor demonics. You must be on your toes here. She will try and manipulate you into doing something rash, no doubt. She looks upon you with the saddest eyes you think you have ever seen. She seems to want to speak with you. Well, we cannot speak with her, so we will just try to run. And we do succeed. You hear the soft beat of a human heart. It seems to slowly grow louder. The air around you becomes cold and you start to see your own breath. Suddenly a ghost materializes directly in front of you. It is the ghost of a woman dressed in an elaborate bridal dress. The sight of her is quite a shock. The sudden appearance of the ghostly bride threatens to send you into a panic and damage your sanity. Well, if we got swords up here, we'll win. And we win. You were part of the team that broke into the Frankenstein castle after that creature found its would-be bride. The ghostly bride hovers in front of you. You are alarmed to notice that she seems to transform herself across a range of apparitions. At times, she has a vision of calm, innocent beauty, and then her eye sockets seem to empty and she appears fully skeletal, a harbinger of wrath. You sense some traumatic event has bound her here, and she seems to be longing for the return of something. You decide to use your psychic talents as a medium to find out why the ghostly bride is waiting here. Oh wow, all face cards. A page and 2 knights, all separate suits. And we couldn't do anything with them. You enter a trance and try talking with the ghostly bride. She babbles incoherently about wedding plans. You can't make heads or tails of it. Ghostly bride. Oh, well, we already did this. Try again. Not a great hand. Try again. 2 queens. And we can take a knight with one of our queens, so we've won the challenge. I think of all the ways I would have done this game differently, viewer. I think I would have done it so that you take point losses every time you have a flipped card over that you could have taken but didn't take, but you could still flip over other cards. But take, I mean, a dress. So, like, if we had the Queen of Swords, we flipped over... the only card we had in our hand was the Queen of Swords. And we flipped over, like, a 2 of Swords. We could play the Queen right then. Or we could hold on to it and flip over another card, but take a point loss for doing so, in the effort of trying to see if we could get more points that way. You guys know, you guys have heard my complaints. You enter a trance and soon are talking with the ghostly bride. She explains that she is waiting here for her betrothed who is late for their wedding. She wants your help. Her name appears to have been Constance, and she is waiting for her betrothed to appear and marry her. You get the feeling that she's been waiting a long time. She wants you to find him, but has no idea where he has been hanging out. She's certain, though, that he is somewhere nearby. We should arguably not explore the rest of this room. I really doubt there'll be a 3rd encounter in this room, and there is going to be a trap in here. But I would like to see a clue token to tell us what we're fighting before I encounter something that tells us what we're fighting. Like a monster. Okay, there was no trap here today. You see a grizzled old man dressed in some grungy old robes. He seems aware of your presence, and he waves you forward. He introduces himself as the alchemist, and you notice that he is indeed surrounded by a menagerie of strange equipment. You wonder what on earth he is doing here in this mansion. He doesn't seem at all disturbed that you have dropped in on him. You decide to engage the alchemist in a little conversation to try to discover what he's up to. A king, a knight, and a 5. And we lose the ace of pentacles to the queen of pentacles. Unable to play our knight there. We can take the queen of cups, though, with our king. Always feels very good. Oh, we can take the 3 with our 5. He seems to size you up, and you get to the heart of the matter. He wants your help, and he's willing to help you in return. Yes, young master. You will suffice, I think. I cannot leave this room because I cannot. But I need my papers returned to me if I am to complete this great work that I've set out to finish. My legacy, you see. He wants you to recover some papers that are nearby. The papers are warded, so you must speak the words of release when you find them. He can't remember exactly where. He mumbles some warning about competitors, and then sends you on your way. Okay, so we're going to be taking this. I want more wands. You've been told that you are belong in a museum more than once, and you admit that you would love to spend your vacations there. But your real calling is exploring lost cities, forgotten temples, and alternate dimensions. So, increases our wands attribute, intellect heroic feats, puzzle lore perception edges, and a potential wands bone for us. If we get one more experience point, viewer, we will scrap that useless feat and grab 1 point in wands. Hopefully we can get lucky enough to do so. Oh, you know what, viewer, I meant to... I have talked about this a few times, but all the videos I talked about it in are not going to be uploaded. Why did I upload the last video, right? We had us lose. Viewer, it's important to remember that when I feel, or what I want, when I watch someone play a game, is I don't know, I want to not know if they're going to win or not. I want there to be that sense of suspense. If all I ever uploaded for this game was me doing well, first off, there'd be almost no videos of this. I always complain very loudly, especially in the beginning parts of the game where it's really difficult, and the very ending of the game where it's also just as difficult, but or can be. But I feel it's important to upload videos of me losing and playing games that are difficult or challenge me for the same purpose. You don't know exactly what's going to happen. You don't know for a fact I'm going to win or not. And I think it's more entertaining to occasionally remember that, hey, I can lose before the first story token's drawn. And thus you got that last video. And as I've mentioned in the past, viewer, there are so many attempts I've made at before the first story token where I've either just died, been driven insane, or gotten a wound or impairment card and just like, no, we're throwing this out. And I would at least like more than one video. Because the attitude I've always had, it has been one attempt at Occult Chronicles, and then we move on. If we fail, that's it. So this is the first year that we're kind of breaking that rule a little. There have been times in the past where I backed up the Reaper game file though, and then when we lose, I reload it to see where exactly the path down to the boss's chamber was in the basement, level 2. Anyway, I'm babbling a bit. Let's keep going. You stumble... Okay, it's the Elder. It's the Elder. We're fighting the Elder. This creature only shows up for it. You stumble upon a small twisted hunchback dwarf. I feel this is like... I'm pretty sure this is a nod to like some sort of vampire movie that existed. But I really feel it should have been something else for the vampire servant, not these things. He seems to be as surprised to see you as you are to see him. He must be a servant of some sort. Without hesitation, he starts yelling, "Alarm! Alarm!" There seems to be nobody around to respond to his cries for help. So, I will mention this once and then we will never talk about this again, but remember I did mod the game. Originally, your only option is to attack him physically. I've added options to use psychic powers and magic against him. We, of course, are playing a physical character this time around, and that is our best chance to actually win. This is so it's interesting that we have the Elder, because these creatures have a chance to drop bullets, which as someone who uses a shotgun, is something that we want. We want more bullets for the weapons we're going to have. You decide to silence this creature as quickly as possible. That's kind of tough, though, with 6 target number. We have a king, a 10, and then a 9. Yep. Let's see what we can do. We can fail is what we can do. The twisted little hunchback moves pretty fast for a cripple. In short order, you are the one who looks like a gimp. Again. 2 knights and 8. Again. A knight, a 9, and a 4 this time. Is it fun to watch me fail over and over, though, again, viewer? Is it fun? After, like, the second time the game just doesn't give me something, I begin to feel a little like, what am I doing? What is this game? A king and a queen, and then a 5 are our cards. Couldn't play any of them. We're dying. Again. A king, a knight, and a 9. I already know we're not going to play that king. You're kidding me. So I'm going to vent a little more. I don't mind games that have a percentage chance or are entirely luck-based. And this game is very heavily RNG dependent, as you've seen. But it tends not to be my cup of tea. It's one of the reasons why I don't really play Sword of Stars to Pit very much. And I haven't played it in a few years, because it's too RNG dependent for my liking. I much prefer guaranteed hit chances and what have you, like Aeodor Genesis, for example. This is frustrating. 2 knights and a 7. Are we just running away? Are we just going to run away? Oh, no, we're dead. We're about to die. Holy crap! The twisted creature lets out a pathetic moan as it crumples to the floor. With its last breath, it gasps, "The master will not be pleased." Wow! If we get reduced to 1 hit point, viewer, I am just going to end it. We're just going to walk to the front of the mansion and walk out if I'm allowed to do so. This game's being very, very cruel this year. You see a figure shuffling towards you. Your first thought is that it must be injured. Then you notice the distinctive hat of a nurse. What steps out from the gloom is not here to help you. If it was once human, it certainly isn't now. You wonder what type of terrible medical experiment gone wrong could have created such a horror. The terrible gurgling sound that the creature makes threatens to drive you over the edge. A good hand for the horror challenge. Holy crap, we should have taken the other skill up a point with that edge upgrade. You survived 10 weeks in the recovery ward with Nurse Ratched. This looks like a stroll in the park compared to that. This figured nurse creature seems intent on helping you. You will need to either fight or flee. Well, we're gonna have to beat it up. Oh, we could flee, but I want to explore this room, so let's do it. It looks real enough to you. Your best guess is you can do enough damage that it stops moving. We can also shotgun it if we fail at once, so let's see what we get. A queen, a 9, and an 8. We have to get lucky enough to play the queen. We just barely win. You kick the stuffing out of it. The body seems to squirm and shake far longer than it should, and it bleeds a black ichor, but it won't be getting back up. A little bit of life back. Normally it's the sanity I'm mostly worried about because of all the horror checks, but God, just couldn't. One really bad results group. We lost 5 hit points that one time. A Telsorati scientist, Zur. You're confronted with a creature from some type of horrible nightmare. It towers over 7 feet tall and seems covered in a sickly translucent slime. You can only describe it as a combination of snail, cucumber, and octopus. Is that the only thing we can describe it as? Looks like a tree. A fleshy tree. You fight to control your revulsion. This thing is not of our world. It must be from another dimension entirely. You overcome with dread and a sickening revulsion. Your eyes wide in disbelief as the strange creature turns to look at you. A knight, a 10, and 2 8s are our high cards. Not that any of them matter. You feel like you are going to vomit and you struggle to control yourself from going to your knees as you begin to dry heave. Teslarati. You remember your briefings from the Tunzga event of 1908. A portal had been opened up by this interdimensional race of aliens. An invasion had been foiled by a precursor to the Odd when the portal generator was overloaded. It had been a narrowly won victory. An interdimensional war had followed. This creature is obviously a group leader. There will be more of these things around. I guess we just kill it? We actually have a miserable chance of doing that, so I think we're just running away. The shotgun blast is not very reliable. 5, 5, and 6. We try once. Single tap or double tap. It's all the same, really. Don't worry about aiming all that much and just stay focused and go for the center of mass. A queen, a 9, and an 8. We used 2 bullets to get here, by the way, so hopefully we can win this challenge. And we do. We could use a shotgun again to get 2 more points by bumping up the ace. But I don't want to spend 2 more bullets to do that. The creature is mortally wounded and crumples down into a gelatinous heap. Oh, that's a shame. Got nothing for it. You see a chessboard set up for the commencement of a game. Upon closer examination, you discover that the pieces are very strange. The black ones are carved out of some volcanic rock and seem to shift between normal pieces and twisted tentacled monsters. The white pieces, carved from alabaster, depict humans armed with all manner of weapons. You can swear that you see a knight that resembles yourself. Suddenly, in the chair across the chessboard, a grim specter of death appears. Your eyes wide in disbelief as the apparition beckons you to sit and play. You must fight to keep your sanity. Queen and a page, and then an 8 are our high cards. We win the horror challenge. You stare back at the apparition and even muster a nonchalant smile, which seems to amuse it. The specter startles you. You wonder if this is some type of trick or illusion. Could this be real? You can sense the currents of sorcery at work here, but just what the source is, you cannot be certain. It beckons you to sit across from it. The apparition motions to the board again, suggesting that you begin the game. This is a miserable chance, and we can just die utterly from this. I think this is one of the events that have like an instant death card in it. You also can take this physical damage from this too, or be driven insane, but there's some nice rewards from it. We are not able to do this with 4 draw, 5 tricks, and a 9 target number, unless we get extremely lucky. And we already know that doesn't happen, so let's leave this alone. Unlike your encounters with most other supernatural creatures, with most other supernatural creatures, the Spectre of Death seems to have no problem with you leaving, holy crap, and you feel perfectly free to do so. A line from a poem suddenly springs to mind. I have a rendezvous with death at some disputed barricade. You notice a row of sculpted marble busts against the wall. You count 4 until you notice that one has fallen to the floor and subsequently been cracked in half. A sudden chill comes over you as you watch in amazement as the faces on the bust begin to move. Lips pucker and cheeks flex as if they were warming up for something, and then they begin to sing. You hold your hands to your ears, but the ghostly singing will not cease. Some jingle about grim grinning ghosts flows from their lips, and you just wish the noise would stop. It might drive you crazy if it doesn't. It's the spooky, scary skeletons, right? Is the one song I'm thinking of. You fail yet another horror challenge. Before you know it, you're singing along. This is a tune that might haunt you for some time. Not taking a whole lot of horror damage, though. Our sanity mostly has not been affected by failing so many of them. The chorus of talking heads continues unabated, even though it has no further effect on you. The heads seem to be having too good of a time to stop. You are certain that some sorcerous curse has bound spirits to these busts as some form of punishment. Just who is being punished, though, is an open question. This is a quest. We do not have the wands necessary to get the quest, so we just leave it alone. Let's see what's in the gallery today. You see the outline of a distinctive shape in the gloom. It still takes you a second or two to realize exactly what it is, a guillotine. This, however, is no normal guillotine. The mouton and blade, pulled up high, glistens with wet blood, and the bascule seems to beckon to you. You feel tired suddenly, and then you realize that you have somehow unknowingly taken a few more steps towards the death machine. You feel a wave of panic engulf you as you realize that this cruel instrument of death is slowly drawing you closer. You realize that you must resist its siren call, or risk losing sanity and possibly your head. 2 queens and a king. Sorry, 2 kings and a queen, and then we have some 6s. And we do resist the horror challenge. Barely, but we did do it. A shame that the queen was here and we had the king. You will your feet to stand their ground and shield your mind from the foul sorceries at work here. You stand before a work of art. Polished wood and burnished brass fittings adorn the guillotine. The craftsmanship is astonishing, and the splattered blood detracts from it not at all. You also can sense the arcane curse that has bound an evil spirit to this horrible contraption. How many victims have caught sight of it only to find themselves sleepwalking to their doom? This is the target of a quest, so we'll come back for this. Your attention is drawn to an old portrait hanging on the wall. It portrays a man dressed in early 19th century attire holding a dueling pistol. He seems eager to use it. A sudden chill shoots down your spine as you notice the figure in the portrait raise his pistol and point it at you. Your eyes widen in disbelief as the figure in the portrait cocks the dueling pistol with a maniacal smile on his face. You wonder how a ghost pistol would work. The confrontation with the ghost duelist threatens to paralyze you with fear. The ghostly duelist remains poised for a duel. You sense that is what it wants. The first move, however, seems to be yours. Can we talk with it? It's part of a quest, but we don't have the wands to be able to do it. Let's try seeing if we can run. The ghost in the painting and his phantom gun make you uneasy. You decide to remove yourself from its presence as quickly as possible. And we are able to do so. Gather your courage and will yourself away from the supernatural fear that seeks to keep you in place. Soon you are away. Zombies! You come face to face with the living dead. Slow, ponderous, and mindless, zombies are still not to be underestimated. They can overwhelm you with numbers and be feasting on your entrails before you know it. Despite having dispatched quite a few of these undead automatons, they still creep you out. They might creep us out today, too, since we don't have a great hand for this. Zombies! You hate these guys. This place certainly knows how to keep you on your toes. Just don't build a summer house here. Isn't that from Princess Bride? Let's see. Well, I guess we're fighting it. So, in case you guys have forgotten, whenever you do a physical challenge, the rewards are often, if you get, like, life or sanity, they're almost always going to be a life. If you do a magical challenge, they're almost always going to be sanity. So if we want to recover our life, we have to risk getting involved in physical combat. We'll fight physically once with them, and then we'll use a shotgun if we fail. A queen, a page, and a 7 are our 3 highest cards. We don't win immediately if we play the queen on the 3, but the odds of there being another swords card is not that great. I'm worried that the king of swords is up here, and the 7 of swords, their next highest card, might be able to take other swords cards. I'll play the queen. Okay, good choice, Tim. You won the battle. The dismembered zombie bodies still twitch around on the floor, putting on quite the show. You have found a clue. You smell iron in the air. It smells like blood. Then you hear a long howl, like a wolf from somewhere nearby. Classroom. See if there's a ghostly teacher in here today. Oh, it's been a while since I've had to fight this thing. You notice a shiny reflection of light in front of you, as if somebody was holding a metal shield or some such object. As you approach the reflection, you start to feel uneasy. The air grows cold, and you see a light vaporous fog appear around your feet. Suddenly, from out of the gloom, the shiny object reveals itself as a grotesque floating eye, and the sight is horrifying. Oh my god, no. What the hell is that? That's an interesting way to phrase it. We do win the horror challenge. We're winning hard challenges upon horrible things, but not winning them against, like, most other things. You have read about the floating eyes of Kichen, but you never thought you would actually see one. The dossier file says to be very careful to avoid their gaze, or else you'll find yourself paralyzed and out of luck. It's a hard battle for us to win, so we're just gonna try to run. A king and a queen do help us. You duck and roll and quickly get out of line of sight, then trace your steps back to the way you came. You stumble upon three figures hunching over something lying on the floor. They look up to face you. You recoil in horror as you observe their bloody, covered faces. These creatures have been feasting on a body, and it looks human. Probably working in tandem with that floating eye over there. Ghouls! You know those canine features and that smell anywhere. The odd has been called in more than once to fight ghoul infestations. Calcutta, Chicago, London, Fond du Lac. They seem to pop up everywhere. You remember the briefings. Hit them hard and they will scatter. Don't let them swarm you or get behind you. Make sure you get any bite wounds, any wounds, treated immediately. Not a fantastic chance. We will fight them once, and then failing that, we'll use the shotgun. A knight, a king, a knight, and a page. Page and king are of the same suit. A decent chance here. And we get the 5. So we win the challenge. Ah, but there was the Knight of Swords to take our page away. Oh, but we take that page with our other knight. Okay, so it all worked out in the end. I was going to say, like, the odds of the knight or queen being up here is very low, and at this point in the game, it's more important for me to win the challenge and take risks like that. The ghouls are no match for you. They fall where they stood, and the puddle of blood on the floor is now bigger than ever. We need life. The 3 slogans are also very nice. Nice life. More. Okay. We're almost back to where we started from. And more importantly, we got enough experience tokens that we can actually level up and get +1 wands. Alright. I think we grab a point of swords next. And then maybe a puzzle or perception edge. Which is, I feel this is nice to have, assuming we can level up again. Like, we're not killed. Because there's a lot of these early game, and as you proceed onward, there's a lot more combat encounters and less of these encounters. So getting one of these early could be helpful. You hear a faint tapping sound at first. As you step closer, you observe a large chalkboard covered in strange formulas and symbols. The equations seem to be writing themselves. Suddenly, a ghostly figure materializes in front of you. It turns away from the chalkboard and, holding a piece of chalk in its ghostly hand, seems to examine you. Your mind fights to stay focused, despite the supernatural assault on your senses. A knight and two knights and a page are our high cards, and we win the challenge. Thank you, game, for being so kind. You've kept your sanity. If you see one ghost, then you see them all. That's not how it reads in other encounters. It's like, it's a ghost. It would scare everyone no matter how many times you've seen it, so I don't understand this. No, not really. It goes on. If you've seen one ghost and you've seen them all. No, not really, but this one just doesn't scare you. Alright, that was me complaining, like, what? That sentence doesn't make any sense. That's not the way it works. And then Vic's like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm just joking. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. Alright, very good. Very good. You behold the ghost of what was obviously a school teacher. By the way she projects herself, you would guess that she must have lived in the house, or late... In the house, what the heck? Lived in the middle or late 19th century. She seems to be looking around the room as if she were searching for something. A question from a student, perhaps? We now have 3 wands, so we can get some of the quests that we left behind earlier. Sure, so let's communicate with her. You decide to reach out with your psychic talents, as a medium, and make contact with the ghost. Perhaps it has information that could help you. A queen, a 5, and a 4, and then we have 2 aces after that, so maybe we can do it. Not today. You enter a trance but cannot establish contact with her. Her worries about something consume her entire attention. Your head aches from the effort. Of course, failing this isn't so bad if we're going to lose a little bit of sanity, because you can always, from quest attempts, when you succeed at them, you can get experience tokens for it, so. Alright, let's try this again. You might remember that I used to fail these on purpose if I was 1 point below the target level, just so I could try getting a better score for more picks from the reward cards. Hey, very good. Got to play most of our cards. You enter trance and establish contact with the ghost. She was a governess here in the house and was responsible for raising the children here in the mansion. She seems to need your help in finding them. The governess wants you to find her wards, Miles and Flora, and some of their friends who have joined them over the years. She has no idea where they are, but they must be around the house somewhere. She implores you to help her find her wayward students. Where are the newborn? You have not found any newborn vampires, which you find odd. This coven must be in dire straits. Desperation breeds a fierceness all of its own. Hunting down the wives and killing the elder will not be easy. Alright guys, we're going to explore these before. Normally end the session right then, but we're going to walk out of the room first. Alright, so let's take a look. All challenges that involve pentacles as a primary suit receive a -1 modifier to the number of cards drawn to the player's hand while this story token is active. So basically, spells or combat that involves pentacles, which wouldn't be spellcasting during combat without the use of a spell specifically. So that doesn't really affect us. Of all the bad things for the story token to have with it, that's not so bad. A reminder as well that the penalties and potentially positive buffs with story tokens are randomized. They don't coincide with what the story token itself reads as. Anyway, let's do a quick summary. So we got the snot kicked out of us, the blood beaten out of us by that little servant. Holy crap, that was ridiculous. Just couldn't win that fight. Maybe there was once or twice I could have used a shotgun to help me win that I didn't notice. You guys will have to remind me if that was the case. I'll have to pay better attention to me using this in combat. Our starting character had 2 good edges, but we don't have a good feat to go with the shotgun that we possess. Maybe we can get lucky and find a pistol somewhere lying around. We've actually leveled ourselves up before the first story token is drawn and got a point in wands to go with it. That's good. That's good. It's a good start. It's not a fantastic start, but I have hope. We also do have 1 Aura of Fortune that we drew. There is another 5th stat that we don't see, which is that stat, or of how lucky you are. And we've gotten only a handful of quests so far. But we also didn't have the wands necessary to get some other ones. We could double back and get the ones that we couldn't get before. Like, we might be able to get the Haunted Painting of Adulos. I think you need 4 wands for that one. I think this is the target that we need for the busts, I think. But we'll swing back this area later. Right, we couldn't get the False from Grace quest. And we couldn't get the Demon's quest, either. Wait, is there a demon? Oh, am I thinking of... Yeah, here it is, okay. And we found the Grandfather Clock, although this entire section of the mansion is basically a dead end aside from that. Alright. Alright, guys, well, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Take care, everyone, and hopefully my voice came out well. I want to scream.